Good evening. It is March 12th, Sunday, about 6 p.m. This is Lynnwood, Washington, and I'm William Ewing, the product owner. Today we did not as much, but that's okay, as long as we keep progressing forward. We went ahead and covered car number one again. There was another gust of wind from especially last night. We figured that was blown. Hopefully this time we did tuck the tarp underneath the car after we lift up the shell a little bit, so that that's what we recommend, is that if that's were to happen, is recommend tucking the tarp underneath the car in the shell, so that it actually acts as something to hold down the tarp in case it does blow really hard again as far as the wind. We ordered some more backup hardlines because the original one that we had for the front of the red NSX went down. It broke. That was our block, and so it turns out we may or not be able to fix it, but instead of trying to continue to figure that out, we'll just order the backup one in case. We also had the Elcano vehicle from UW Bothell group to visit today, so that was interesting. We'll be able to look more into that and see if we had any collaboration to talk about. And it sounds like someone authorized, maybe Joe, them a space for us to house their vehicle. We'll need to figure that out too, in case they do end up taking us as a choice to house their vehicle, and if we do move on. The next item would be the hardlines that Gunnar Israel, our WIKISPEED Lynnwood Washington intern, will explain.
Hi, like William said, I'm Gunnar Israel, and we were trying to put in the hard lines today. However, we've come to some blocks. Right, as William was explaining earlier, with one of the hard lines broke, so we had to order a new one. As you can see right here, it doesn't really work anymore.
That's just a bolt holding that in place, and it's actually the part where the nut tightens up onto this part. However, for today, what we worked on was we installed this long hard line, this one right here, that extends all the way up down to the front. And Gunnar, what was the block in the front that we were trying to maneuver?
So the first block was, as you can see right here, this is where the hard line is. This is the front part. We had to take off the front subframe, which is where the battery was resting, and we had to maneuver it past this clamp right here. Is that what you would refer to this as?
I'd say that's probably
or what is this?
Sub bar.
A sub bar.
Subframe bar.
Subframe bar. So we had to maneuver that as well, because if we were to have taken this off, it would have taken much longer to complete what we wanted to get done. So we were successful in maneuvering,
So that
getting that through.
that hose, as you can see, needs to go in that hole. Yeah.
But it did take some time, but we eventually did get it. However, that was just the first part of our blocks. The second part would be in the back, and that was trying to get the end of this, first of all, bolted on, right? Because we had this clamp in the way, and two, we need to figure out where this other clamp has to go. When you can see that there's like an indent right here, so we need to figure out how that gets in there. And second of all, trying to get this part screwed on as well.
Yeah, the connecting of the hard lines. Right. So there's two straps holding, or at least one of the two of the straps that hold the gas tank up, and one of the straps that we needed to actually take out in order to put the hard lines underneath it.
But it turns out we could probably attach it with the straps already in place. So that's what we're trying to attempt. It is from a different car, so we'll just continue to maneuver the hard lines and make sure that it bolts on. It's not as a regular bolt-on universal adapting interface, so we will troubleshoot through. So if we broke this down, we probably said, okay, we disconnected one module, so that'd be a medium today, but we weren't able to really diagnose that until we actually get to it. So that's the thing when with unknowns. We'll likely probably put that on our tracking sheet so we can actually document that, but at least as long as we have a video of it that actually acts as our documentation. Any other recommendations, Gunnar?
Yeah, I would recommend that when you are going to take apart or put together something, you should take a picture of the before and after when you start working on it. Because I think a lot of our problems could be resolved quickly if we knew exactly how things were being placed in.
Good recommendation.
And of course, like putting in those hard lines, I think doing that by yourself would have been very difficult.
Yeah.
So those are just 2 recommendations.
Excellent. All right. Thanks very much. Lynnwood Washington WIKISPEED out.